Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with juniorhockey.io, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the absolutely stellar Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, YouTube, the Mighty X, wherever you are today. Hope that you are enjoying your time in hockey. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. We've got Eric Ballard from Jackson Hole, Wyoming on this morning. We are in the middle of World Juniors. Today is New Year's Eve. So we got Eric today because tomorrow he'll be hungover. No show tomorrow, I'm sure, on New Year's Day for Eric because the folks in Jackson Hole, they really know how to party, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes again. Eric got a new computer for Christmas. I hope that works better.
Yeah.
Right now, it's frozen, Eric.
It's going to have to. I'm looking forward to 2025 for sure. 24, you always try to have a better year, but 24 was good. 25 will be better, but I'm not quite sure I'll be hungover.
Yep. His computer's hungover, though. All right. Eric, if you still hear me, last week we lost a good friend in Jack Tragis. Jack Tragis was the president of the Arctic Lions Hockey Association up in Fairbanks, Alaska. Instrumental in the formation of the Fairbanks Ice Dogs hockey team. I think, Eric, if you're back, you can remember when we formed the first 14 division of the Western States Hockey League, that Tragis was a very integral part of those discussions and really carried the Ice Dogs into where they are today. Eric, what is your best memory of Jack Tragis?
There's just too many there's just too many to identify. He was such a phenomenal human being. Every time we run into each other at the North American hockey meetings or, just USA hockey functions or just being in Fairbanks playing against the Ice Dogs. There were just so many good memories with Jack. He was just a mountain of a man. He was like 6'5" and had just great presence, real deep voice, like the Oak Ridge voice. And he always spoke.
You froze again. For a long time, Jack held the world record for the largest halibut ever caught on the rod and reel. That was something. Eric, I'm thinking back to 1998, the end of the 97-98 season. I believe you guys beat Anchorage in the semifinals, and you had to play Fairbanks in the finals that year. And during the semifinal, Jack and I are on the one end, and it was like Alaska's own "Can You Believe in Miracles" situation when you guys beat Anchorage. And both Jack and I are pounding on the glass. It was so hilarious and fun to beat. And I think they had Steve Gasparini on the bench, if I remember right, and Tom Colwell, and they were just stunned that you guys were able to beat them. And it's probably one of the most proudest moments I ever had of you as a coach up to that point. And Jack and I just hugging each other. What a great win for you guys that year. Remember that game?
I remember that game.
It was chaos. It was absolutely chaos until you guys had to play Fairbanks in the final. And that was still a pretty good game. That was that first year we had 4 teams. And
yep.
You guys did a really good job that year.
Yeah, Kevin Runyon scored the game-winning goal. Hadn't scored a goal all year and got a breakaway in that semifinal game, and it was a game winner.
Runyon was a really good kid. He had diabetes. I remember when he had him in Soldotna, he was sleeping in the van during training camp, and he had an episode. And I had some experience with that with my father as a diabetic. And now I have the same stuff. But we were able to get him some sugar, and he ended up doing pretty well. Went back home a little bit later on and joined your team. That was a real good addition for you guys.
Yeah, he was. There's a lot of good memories up there, buddy. A lot of good memories.
Love those kids. Let's move on to one of the biggest upsets and probably, I'm not going to say college hockey history, in recent history over the week. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas ACHA club team managed to beat the defending national champions, University of Denver, in an exhibition game in Denver. Eric, there's been a lot of response to that game in the last few days. Maybe a little too much, but overall, I think it was a good situation for ACHA hockey.
No question. I had the conversation today. I've been reading the chat boards and look.
It's interesting to see how those things happen. About 100 years ago, it wasn't that long. The University of Alaska Seawolves basketball team managed to beat number 1 ranked Michigan one year. I think it was a tournament in Hawaii, and it was the same kind of ordeal. Everybody was going crazy in Alaska, and I'm sure folks in Vegas are doing the same thing. But the reality is, those are once in a lifetime occurrences. That's not going to happen probably 2 times out of 100 when you compare that level of ACHA to that level of Division One. Yes, there are probably some ACHA D1 teams that offer tremendously more opportunities academically than some NCAA Division One teams, but all in all, the level of plays are far apart, and probably going to be even further apart now with the Canadian Hockey League. But Eric, it was an anomaly, but it was good for the game. Still frozen. Oh, Eric, that's my stand away. Great.
Sorry, guys, I keep freezing up.
Right.
That doesn't hurt the NCAA. It's going to make the ACHA more a viable option now.
Absolutely. Considering Canadian Hockey League players won't be going D3, I have yet to see any ruling regarding them able to go to the ACHA. If the ACHA was smart, and generally they are pretty smart, they should allow those players to come into the ACHA. What is your thoughts, Eric?
Division II and Division III, they do allow it. It's just Division I they don't at this point.
So what would be holding them back now, you think?
I don't think they have a choice. I think they've got to open that door up.
So the only level of play that would be restricted would be the NCAA Division III at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're going to see an influx. I think the landscape's...
Well, the landscape is certainly going to change, and I just hope it's for the better. I can't help but think if you drop 300 more players into the college hockey pool, that it's going to get better, and it's going to trickle down to ACHA D1. But a lot of these ACHA D1 schools are talking very seriously about moving to NCAA Division I, and Nevada, Las Vegas is one of them. Liberty, we've heard in the last 10 days about Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana. Who else would I hear? Iowa, all likely be in NCAA Division I within the next 24 months. That adds a lot of players and a lot of opportunities to the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of those schools have to follow that. The ASU, Penn State, ASU, UNLV has been trying to be D1 for a while. This will actually solidify some concrete, maybe a little more concrete opportunities and conversations with the university. So you'll see a lot more NCAA Division I schools popping up. Title IX is still a part of everything. So got to have a women's program as well.
Some of these schools can probably add a women's program straight away. Washington State, both are in prime locations, and they have plenty of arenas in both those cities. I don't know about Los Angeles and USC and UCLA. Not sure the facilities are there for that, but it's interesting to see. And it's, as this part in our history at our age, we're seeing a very big transformation of hockey, and it's been fun to watch.
Absolutely. I think it's great. More opportunities. And, I hate the word club. I coach in the ACHA. I hate the word club. It's college hockey. And we're not trying to be something that we're not. We're not NCAA. And it's the ability to play 4 years or 5 years of college and get a quality education and have a good balance. Campus life, student life, and still keep your hockey going. So in some of those ACHA Division I schools, I started the CU Boulder program. It was there was some really good hockey players that played USHL, BC, NA that end up in our locker room pretty consistently because wanted a different campus life.
Let's go ahead and use that college platform to segue into the next topic. USA versus Canada at World Juniors. I think the United States has an advantage in this kind of tournament because all those players are been playing college hockey. Most of those kids are playing against older players, 22 to 25 years old, where most of Canada's teams or players are all playing against mostly kids in the Western League, the Ontario League, and the Q. You have some college kids and some pro kids in that mix, but the overall, the opponents those guys are facing on a day in, day out basis are not equal to what the U.S. players are facing. Eric, do you think that elevated age is giving the U.S. an advantage in these events?
Not in a one-game series. No, it's U.S. versus Canada. You throw all the rules out, you throw the data out for the most part. I really don't believe that makes a difference at this point. It's Canada versus U.S. You flip a coin, and both Canada they got upset by Latvia. U.S. got upset by Finns. Both and every time U.S. meets Canada in the World Juniors, you could predict it all day long, but at the end of the day, I couldn't even tell you how close I've been on our predictions over the last few years. Throw it out because it's going to be a barn burner of a game. I'm really excited to watch it.
We made a decision because of the holidays and your schedule, my schedule the last couple of days, not to try to predict the preliminary rounds. We will go head-to-head in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final. Last year, you got me by a game, I believe.
Yep.
And that cost me at Epcot Center. So this year, Daisy and I are hoping to go to Jackson Hole for some ungodly reason. Maybe if you're still there. So what's the best steak place that we can go to in Jackson Hole?
Oh, boy, there's a couple of them, buddy. Well, don't worry. When you and Daisy get up here, we'll take care of you.
Or maybe Eric's Backyard Grill is the best place to go eat,
Oh, there's just no argument there from a lot of people.
You'll probably maybe feed me buffalo meat or something. I want to know the difference,
Hey, bison is it's a delicacy here, buddy. Bison and elk.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. Canada and the U.S. will likely face each other in the final. So it's hard to beat the team twice in a row. And I kind of wonder if U.S. or Canada really want this win tomorrow. I think it's going to be something to take a look at, thinking they're going to face each other later on in this event. So, and both Czechia and Sweden look good. They're both dominating on that side by a lot, but I don't think they face the same level of competition as the U.S. and Canada have faced. Germany has been weak. We know that. Switzerland has been weak, but Kazakhstan looks better than I thought they were going to be. Slovakia is always going to be strong. Latvia, Finland, Canada, the U.S., that was a stronger group in the situation. And I think that's going to be in play at the final. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, I see these two in the final. I'm going to pick Canada tomorrow just because I have more family in Canada than the U.S. So I'll go ahead and go that way. They won't beat me up later. Eric?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to take Canada because I'm going to have to take USA. For a number of reasons, but at the end of the day, if I said Canada, it wouldn't make any sense. There'd be nothing on the table. So, but again, throw all the bets out. It really is. It's going to be a great game, and I think again, I think U.S. may have a little bit of the edge, but again, we'll see what happens tomorrow night, buddy. So you got Canada, I got U.S. for a little friendly. World Junior opener.
One quick thing before we close. Tomas's and Sonia's grandmother passed away night before last up in Sonora, Mexico. Prayers out to their family. For all those